So you're unhappy with your rates bill. Local taxation, rating valuations. In this short video, I'll try to introduce the subject. The reason local authorities and precepting authorities like the police charge rates is to help pay for their services, e.g. social services, education, highways, i.e. rates is not a charge for the services that your business may receive. So your rates bill may look like this. It is the result of an equation, rateable value times uniform business rate, the latter being set annually by the government. So what is the rateable value? It is an estimate by the Inland Revenue Valuation Office, IRVO, of a rent paid by a hypothetical tenant to a hypothetical landlord of your commercial premises at the valuation date, assuming the tenant is responsible for repairs and insurance. The last valuation date was 1st April 2008. It was intended that there should be quinquennial revaluations, but because of the recession, changing shopping patterns and regional issues, the government have been concerned about the effects this would have. There was a long gap between the 1973 and 1990 revaluations, which caused many problems, and in my view, the government should resume a regular pattern. So how do IRVO make the assessment? Prior to and after the valuation date, they issue forms of return to all occupiers of commercial property, asking if they rent it and if so on what terms. IRVO maintain their database of areas of commercial properties by doing regular surveys. It is then relatively simple for them to express those rents as pound per metre squared in terms of Zone A for shops, or pounds per square metre net internal area for offices, or pounds per metre squared gross internal area for factories. These can be adjusted for date, etc. Next, as they probably know your areas, they can calculate your rateable value. Most commercial properties are valued on a comparable basis, i.e. like this, though there are also other valuation methods. If a property is partly used for domestic purposes, then that part will be subject to council tax and the commercial part to rates. Reliefs. The local authority may give reliefs, for example small business relief, empty property relief, or, such as now, hardship relief after flooding. You can generally see how your rateable value is made up on the IRVO website. See www.voa.gov.uk. So what can you do if you think the rateable value is wrong? This may be because your property is newly built and has recently been assessed, or because of extensions, demolitions, splits in occupations, or mergers, for example. It may also be because of physical changes locally since the valuation date. You can discuss the matter with IRVO, and you can make a proposal to alter the valuation list or instruct a surveyor to do so on your behalf. The RICS, RVA and IRRV all have websites, with the RICS having a Find a Surveyor site. They joined forces to produce a code of conduct for rating surveyors, i.e. no upfront fees. A word of caution, there are some firms who are not RICS, etc., but who make out that they do this work for upfront fees, often with disappointing results, so it's best to avoid them. Typically, they cold call. If there is merit in your proposal, then usually IRVO will agree, but sometimes cases are contested and progress to valuation tribunal or even land tribunal. If you don't pay your rates, then the local authority are likely to seek redress via magistrates' court and bailiffs, so extra costs may get imposed and potentially your business may get closed down. If you're in this situation, it does not necessarily mean that the rateable value is wrong. I worked for IRVO and subsequently have been involved with rating cases. My office is in Cardiff and I cover South Wales and South West England.